also I'm realizing something. I have a question.
Michael, can you speak up?
Yes.
You talk louder.
I'm wondering, bullet 2 says apply disciplinary core ideas.
He is under constructing explanations.
And I'm wondering, if they haven't quite gotten the full disciplinary core idea, does it count that they're trying to like put structures together in a way that's getting close but ain't there? I was just wondering. It doesn't say apply semi-successfully. Or attempt to apply, pieces. So it just came up in our group, and I was wondering now as I think about elements how to.
Yeah, Chris.
Well, I think of that as like, if you look at the word constructing, like we see buildings all the time that aren't constructed, but they're still constructing it, right? Like you might just have the foundation, you just have the start of it. And I feel like that you're not going to ever get to the end if you don't have the beginnings that are starting down the pathway.
Yeah, I like something, and I think I raised it. I liked what Renee said yesterday in our group. Like, are we progressing? Like, what questions are we progressing on? Like we knew we didn't. When we put our sticky dots on there, well, we didn't really get the answer to that one in our group. We were like, but we were progressing on that idea, so we were moving towards that full explanation with the disciplinary core idea. But we knew we weren't quite there.
I want to go back to what Michael was saying. That it's written the way it's written. It sounds like they have they have to be right in order for it to meet that to be the practice, as opposed to the process of coming to the correct answer. It's written almost as if you're applying things correctly. Apply the idea, determine why the phenomena, articulate how or why, instead of saying engage in a conversation to come to the conclusion about how it comes.
It's interesting though.
Does it matter though?
I feel, to me, they're applying what they know a chemical reaction is based on what they did out here. They're not totally making sense of it in terms of what is in the human body and how that plays out. So they have this idea of a chemical reaction that is pretty good, I think, at this point. They have less of an idea of what's happening in the body. I don't know that this language is right, but it's interesting. Like some ideas they have, and others, I don't know, the stomach lung thing, I think is fascinating.
Yeah. But that could even be consider the cause of the relationship in the data versus they're considering it, and then once they have a rounded understanding, that would be the applied.
But I feel like this whole constructing explanations, like regardless of where it goes, it's authentic science. Like if you work in the science world, you're always constructing explanations, and like you're always changing. There's no real answer. There's the answers we have based on the evidence that we found. So like, I mean, we have an answer we kind of want them to get to, but again, like, what's more important than that they get to that real answer? They have the experience of like this scientific process that if they do choose to be scientists in the future, they need to be okay with, I don't know the real answer, but I know my data tells me this.
I mean, that's why it's called a disciplinary core idea, right? Because it's core to the discipline of science. So they're learning that you construct an explanation, and that explanation, I mean, we think of in the vernacular English that explanation, oh, here you go, that's an explanation, and now I understand it. But in science, really, when you're constructing an explanation based on partial evidence, it's a hypothesis. And you have what you think is an explanation, and then you have to go test it. That's what we do in the science discipline. So it doesn't have to be a correct explanation when you first start. And so, I don't know, I might like to see more of a link between this explanation is actually a hypothesis, bringing in that vocabulary, and now we're going to do a test, and we're going to do some evidence to see if our hypothesis is correct or not. But they are definitely engaging in the disciplinary core idea of using their data to come up with what they think might be an explanation. They just have to, know that there's a question mark there, and I think it's fairly clear that they know that.
I think the iterative nature of this, how the explanations and models evolved over the course of the unit, is a real strength. And that's kind of how this evidence is playing in. Like, what can we make sense of right now? Where are we going next? How do we get some more evidence? Where do we go next?